Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. What's going on, guys? This is real throwback sort of stuff for Shorty. Just sitting in the car, pure darkness, just recording a little podcast, SuperCoach style of video. So, what's going on? I hope you're well. I'm just here in Halls Gap, just kicking back. Bit of a holiday. Been here since Monday, as you guys might have known if you've seen the tipping video. I did a video just about the lack of live session the other day. So, yeah, it's been pretty good actually. A bit of golf. Quite a few walks, has been fun. Shorty doesn't mind getting involved in a bit of nature and just checking out the scenery. So, yeah, it's been alright. Bit of Wimbledon's been on, just watching the footy at the moment. Put the VC on Lockie Neal. Doesn't seem to be going too well at the moment. Might need a big second half from him, but I need the Lions to get up too. It's not going too well for them at the moment. They've fought back a bit. I think Oscar McInerney might have just drop-kicked one through the goals, which was pretty bizarre. But, yeah, just doing the podcast style. It's a bit tricky just with my laptop and the setup at the moment. I sort of got to HDMI it through the TV. If you're not aware, my screen's absolutely fucked at the moment. So I've got to get that fixed. My microphone cooked itself as well. So technology is absolutely out the window for Shorty at the moment. But I just thought I'd just do as quick as possible sort of podcast and mainly focus in on Tommy Stewart and the decision around that. And it's a bit of a fight for the TV amongst the family between Wimbledon and football, so trying to steal it for SuperCoach video filming and editing might be a bit of a stretch on your Thursday night. So I hope you guys are well. Like I said, I did want to talk about Tommy Stewart, but yeah, it's been pretty tricky, I must admit. People's trades are starting to get low. It's getting difficult now. We're really pushed to the limit. So I think for me, a lot of people in the comments seem to be saying, you know, do we trade him? Do we hold him? I'll just give you what I'm doing. I'm holding him, but obviously he's out for the 4 weeks. I don't want to hold that zero for 4 weeks. I mean, it's not a zero, but it's one less premium than a lot of other people. So what I'm planning to do is upgrade Jacob Ware to a premium in the probably 420s to 470s, 80s, depending how much cash I can sort of generate. Just to provide a bit of coverage until Stewart comes back. I don't want to trade Stewart, and I definitely don't want to waste a trade, sort of a premium to a premium, who I know will come back. So I feel like by creating a D7, so a 7th premium defender, it gives me obviously coverage down back, but also I can swing that into the midfield, so I've got coverage on both lines there. So it might seem like a bit of a strange way to approach it, but I don't want to burn a trade to replace a premium who I know will return soon for a premium. So, but if you are that way inclined, my main advice would be don't hold Stewart for 4 weeks. In essence, you know, you've got to replace him somehow. So don't just put him on the bench and bring on, you know, D'Ambrosio or bloody Ware or someone like that for 4 weeks. You don't want to have them on the field scoring 50s for 4 weeks straight. You either trade Stewart or link some sort of dual position to cover him, or you do what I'm doing and upgrade a 7th defender, however that looks for you. Do you still have Gibcus, or, you know, however it looks, and then you can cover him like that, and then once he returns, you've got some good insurance, good backup there. But if you are seeking options, I'll tell you what, I'm glad I didn't do this video or do a live sesh, because I would have said strongly consider Dane Zorko. I reckon he was at a nice price, break even in the 90s. Well, the bloke's off 5 minutes into the first quarter. So I don't know what he scored, but he couldn't have scored too much. So he's subbed off. I don't know how bad the hammy is, but he looked pretty damn disappointed. So I also would have recommended Bailey Dale. I did recommend a few people that in the comments when I got round to a few, but obviously he's playing tonight. So Dale would have been my safest option. I think he's a really nice price, and even more so with Caleb Daniel out of the team for a little bit of time. Obviously, if you can upgrade higher to a Sicily or someone like that, that's fantastic. But I'll just deal with guys who are, you know, below Stewart's price. Look, I think Dan Houston, really solid option. I've been a bit slow to the party on him, but he's a really reliable option. You can trust him. I think Crisp as well falls in that category, but he's pretty popular. What else have we got here? So I think Dale was the safest option. I think Houston also very safe. But how are you feeling out there? You feeling brave? You feeling bold? How's your luck been lately? Let me introduce you to Aaron Hall. How are you feeling? Now, he comes back, scores 150. Now, we know the sort of background he has and the history he has with injuries. So, of course, there comes with a bit of risk. But at 508k, you can pocket yourself about 50 grand and get a bloke that I think is in the top 3 of scoring defenders in the competition. So, do you think he can stay fit and healthy? He's only got to do it for about 7 or 8 weeks or whatever it is. So he doesn't have to put a block of footy together, really. Then again, he could come out, do his hammy halfway through the second quarter in 2 weeks' time. You just don't know. Personally, I'd have reasonable faith in him. I tend to look at it as though, yes, he's bloody injury prone, but he's probably had that injury that he has sort of every year. Like, he's already missed his chunk of footy. I think I'd have enough confidence in him just to get through a couple of months. And I think the pros outweigh the cons. Of course, you've got to weigh up how many trades you've got left. If you've got 2, then I'm probably not saying bring Aaron Hall in because it's just super risky. Again, if you've got 2 trades left and, you know, you might then sort of say, shit, maybe I have to hold Stewart. So basically, these decisions, they largely come down to not so much the decision itself, but how many trades you've actually got left. You know, we've got to last another 8 weeks or whatever it is. Sometimes you might just have to hold a guy. You know, you might have to hold him. But if you got 3, 4, 5 trades, then I think you can afford to be a little bit more proactive. But honestly, I think the scoring potential that Hall has is almost enough to swing me to bring him in. I mean, obviously, Jaden Short hasn't been scoring as well, but I think he's still a quality player in a nice range. Liam Baker, if you're feeling a little point of difference, he was fantastic. I brought him into my draft team the other week. He's going better than I actually thought he could. Isaac Cumming has come off the boil. He's just someone to consider. Luke Ryan's hot and cold. I couldn't sit here and, you know, recommend him. You know, Jordan Ridley, again, he's a bloke that I feel is, you know, not in the top 12 defenders. He's lost that ceiling of 120 plus, but if you're really looking to pocket an extra 70, 90, whatever K it is, sure he doesn't have the calculator on him, but he could be a guy. And then we really start to, you know, look, is Whitfield back? You know, we've seen him play great footy under McVeigh. I think he's turned up every time. Can you trust him at 463? And can we trust Jake Lloyd? I don't think so. He's a bit hot and cold as well. But there are a few names to think about. Pure and simple, I sit here hoping you already bought in Bailey Dale. If not, I think Dan Houston is the safest, most, you know, you'll trade Houston in, you'll sleep pretty well. You'll sleep pretty well tonight. If you trade in Aaron Hall, you might wake up a few times throughout the night and, you know, you might be hitting the liquor halfway through the third when he's getting checked up, getting a rub down because he's a bit tight in those hammies. So it could be something to think about, something to weigh up, but that's the way I see it. If you got a few trades, if you're feeling lucky, Hall is going to score better than Houston, better than, well, probably all those guys I mentioned, in my opinion. It's just he's probably the biggest injury risk of the lot. So they are my options to replace Tommy Stewart. There's probably a bit of a side note. Mitch Duncan, I think he's going to come in and play more of he's sort of played half-back, but he'll play almost predominantly half-back now. And not the fact that he'll be playing there, but he'll be Geelong's player that a lot more footy comes through because Stewart's a nice kick. He provides a little bit of rebound. I think that'll be Mitch Duncan now. So that could be a little side note. A few people sort of saying, you know, what do I do with Dusty and this and that? Look, Dusty's really frustrating. I'm holding him, you know, begrudgingly, I must admit. Look, where I'm at, I'm just going to try and back him in. I've butchered this forward line, I really have, but I'm holding him for no real reason that makes absolute sense other than I think he can average 90 for some portion of this latter stage, and maybe if I can trade well, he might end up being my F7 or M9 depending how I can swing it, and I think he's okay insurance. But again, if you got extra trades, you can probably afford to be a bit more aggressive. Frustrating that English didn't come back. I'm sure a few of you are frustrated that Proust didn't come back. Langers was mentioning that to me before. I had a look at the teams before. It's a bit tough to get up here on the phone, but there wasn't anything that seemed too major. Let me just quickly get him up. Also, shout out to, I think it was Marty, or could have been Mark. Sorry, mate. I should have remembered, but I was just rolling into Hall's Gap General Store. Hey, Shorty, what's going on? I'm like, hey, mate, how are you? He goes, oh, what's your channel? So that was really cool, actually. So thanks heaps, mate. If you're tuning in, I really appreciate you saying g'day. I must admit, when I go to the footy, I always feel like, half a chance someone says g'day. Definitely didn't think that waltzing in to the general store at Hall's Gap to pay about $7 for a loaf of bread, did I think that I would see someone who watched the channel? But nah, thanks very much, mate. Seemed like a ripper bloke. Bagged for Hawthorn, that's a bit of a negative, but did seem like a nice fella. And he was going pretty nicely too. I think he was maybe in the top 2,000. So yeah, very good stuff. So I appreciate you saying g'day there, mate. Just having a look at the teams. Nothing too crazy in these early ones. The Saints dropped a few, but not many big names in there. Looking at the Swans and Dons there. Nothing too much going on there. This isn't as interesting via the podcast when I'm scrolling through as opposed to the screen record. Joel Selwood rested. Dangerfield comes back. That's handy from a Cat's point of view. Taron Thomas could be an interesting selection next year. It just hasn't happened for him for a range of reasons, and obviously he's going through a bit at the moment, so we hope he's going all right. But he could be a really tasty buy next year. Jordan DeGoey comes back in the team. James Cheetahs comes back, or comes in, I should say. He lives. He's a neighbour of mine, actually. Went to the same school, and he lives just down the road from me. Obviously not now. He's up in Gold Coast, but he's making his long-awaited debut, so I worked really hard for that. Then we sort of move into some extended bench teams. Nick Nat is back in town. Witherden can't get back in the team. How crazy is that? So, yeah, Flynn is obviously the option there for the Giants. Will Day comes back. And, old mate May's dropped as well. They're not a fan of him. He's done something to someone. And, I think that's about... Gee, Shorty needs the glasses. I need to get some contacts. I'm looking at this phone. My vision just bloody goes. It's awful. But, I think I might wrap it up there. I sort of wanted to keep it pretty concise to Tommy Stewart. I'm going to try and rush in there and grab the TV for a bit of time to get this HDMI, upload it, then bang on the third quarter. So, vice captain, like I said, Neil. I'm half tempted to put the C on Darcy. I don't know if I can trust him. But if not, it might be someone like Miller, Oliver. I'm keeping it pretty simple. Can I trust Sean Darcy? I don't know. Maybe Lockie Neal has a banging second half. We'll wait and see. But good luck out there, guys. I'll be back to normal next week, hopefully with a better microphone. Hopefully, we'll see how we go with a laptop that's intact. I'm not sure what they got to do to it. Hopefully just an easy screen repair. But I'll talk to you all soon. Have a good week in footy and SuperCoach, and I'll chat to you then. Cheers, guys.